All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Jay McLovin. How's it going, Jay?
It is going absolutely, positively beautiful. You know, interestingly enough, Gonzo, I don't know if you saw this, man, but Damian Dollar had a hell of a night.
Yeah, one of the
most night against the Jazz, didn't he?
One of the most efficient nights ever.
God. Like, what was it, like 0.858? God, percent. Crazy. He was like 21 to 29, 10 at the free throw line. I think he's like the third oldest player to ever get a 60-point game at that level. And it was Steph Curry did it at 32 as well, and Kobe Bryant did it at 37. So, hey, you can't count. You cannot. You know, every time I forget about Damian Dollar, he just comes back and does something to remind me that, hey, Damian is still in this league.
No, you're right. He does. I think he kind of gets lost a little bit. Kind of gets, I think, a little underrated because he stayed in Portland, and
absolutely.
If you know, I mean, if he would have went to another team, I think you don't hear a lot about him sometimes there in Portland. And then, all of a sudden, boom, he has a night like this, and you go, oh yeah,
he's still there.
Yeah, Dame's still there.
He's still there. I have not kept up too much in the world in terms of Portland though in the playoffs, or not in the playoffs, but in the rankings as much. I do know they're still up there. Are they in the top 10 or not top 10? Excuse me. Are they in the top 6?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look. I'll be honest with you. I don't keep track of the whole NBA.
I was wrong. They're actually
NFL gets over.
Yeah, Utah. God, what a time. Yeah,
I don't keep track of the NBA until the NFL gets over, other than like I watched Indiana Pacer games and I'll like go over like the highlights and stuff. But then when NFL ends and NBA gets more in the second half of the season, that's when I start watching a lot more of like other games and get a little bit more into it.
Yeah. So Utah is at number 10, OKC is at 11, and Portland is at 12. But Portland is at 12, and they're only a half a game behind Utah. So, OKC and Portland have the same record. Was that?
Portland had battled some injuries early in the season as well. and now
Right.
they're starting to get a little healthier.
My thing
about
is,
Anthony?
I wonder what.
No, go ahead.
I was just wondering, another thing that really baffles me and is crazy to me is that Utah started out so well this season at number 1, and then they slid down to like number 10. Now, I think probably, somewhere between 8 and 10 is probably logistically where they should be, given the fact that they gave up, Mitchell and Gobert. But it's still, man. For them to go to 1 and then now they're at number 10. I mean, they have really fallen down a lot.
Yeah, you've seen a few teams do that. But what about Anthony Davis? Made his return last night and had a pretty good game.
Yeah, I saw he put up 21. Now, I don't want to.
But it was limited minutes too. It wasn't like he played his normal like full minutes that he usually plays. So I mean, for the minutes he played, he had a pretty good first game back.
Yeah, and I thought Kuchamara, I thought he fit in pretty well too. I think he gave him like 12 points, like 4 or 5 rebounds, and a couple of assists. Coming off the bench. So I thought he fit in pretty nicely, molding in with those guys. The problem I have though is, or the question, not a problem. The question I have is, it was against a Spurs team. I mean, Spurs are pretty much damn near horrible. And they beat them by 113-104 was the actual score. I really want to see how they look, against, maybe like a Grizzlies or a Warriors or something like that, just to see, as you go up in the competition level, how they're going to fare with that. But just the fact that Davis came back and gave you 21 off the bench and, Kuchamara did his job, it certainly makes the job easier for LeBron overall, which I think is the idea, is to make it easier for LeBron. But
I still think even with adding Kuchamara, I still have him at around play-in team is where I'm going to say I think I have him at.
Yeah.
Play-in team maybe somewhere around there.
Damian chimes in with Scottie Pippen Jr. sucks, but truth be known, I have not watched Scottie Pippen Jr. in the G League to really know, how he's doing. I haven't seen any of his stat lines to know, where he's at. But dang, Damian. Well, I guess, Damian, have you been watching him in the G League? And if so, what's he scoring that makes him suck? What is your reasoning behind that?
Yeah, I don't know about that. Hey, but let me ask you this. Nathaniel Hackett to the Jets as the offensive coordinator. Does that mean the Jets are going after Aaron Rodgers?
Hey, stop copying me.
Or I'm not copying you.
You copied me. I literally go to the unscripted group chat and I told Frankie that exact thing. I said, hey, do you think
I didn't know you said that, so I'm not copying you. But I think he'll fit in good there as offense coordinator, even if they don't get Rodgers. But I do think that's the thing that could be a play to get like, come on over here, Aaron. When they got a good defense, you got a good running back. You get that at a receiver. I'm telling you what, they could look good.
I got to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sold on anything that is connected to Hackett. I still don't. I still wonder exactly how much.
Put this way, Hackett was the OC in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers was back-to-back MVP.
Yeah, but again, my question though is how much of that was due to Hackett, and how much of it was due to other factors. I just. Because the rumors I've heard I know
Rodgers praised Hackett. He loved Hackett. I do know that.
Okay. And you know what? Hey, one thing's for sure, man. We're gonna find out real quickly, come next season, how he does as an offensive coordinator when he's got Mike White, which is still a promising prospect, and then Zach Wilson and Flacco. So yeah, you're going to find out. I think real quickly.
Let me ask you this though: say that the Jets do get Aaron Rodgers. You think where do you think that puts the Jets as contender wise in the AFC?
Well, a couple of factors will depend. Number one, he's gonna obviously make them better. That's a given. How far they go, however, is going to be on a couple of other outside factors, right? How well is Breece Hall going to play coming back off that ACL, and when does he come back? Number two is going to be, how well is that young receiving core going to respond? I still don't know if the Jets truly have a number one as well.
Well, maybe you have to try to add a receiver as well, though.
Exactly. So I think if you are going to bring in Aaron Rodgers, all you got to do is find you a wide receiver one, and you can get that in the draft. You might be able to find that in free agency. I mean, there's a couple of ways you may be able to get that via trade. I mean, there's any number of things you can do for that. So I think getting Aaron Rodgers would be a huge benefit to the Jets. He's going to come in. Like you said, he's going to join back up with his buddy Hackett. And if they can somehow or another squeeze out a wide receiver one, and if Breece Hall can come back and be dominant like he was in his rookie campaign before he went down with the injury, man, that Jets team can –
that'd be a pretty damn competitive team.
Hey, we may stop talking about the Bills and the Dolphins, and we may turn our attention over to the Jets.
Because that Jets defense isn't a joke. That Jets defense has a lot of potential. So I mean, you could, man, they could look tough.
However, in a comma, don't forget Brett Favre, his predecessor, went to the Jets too, and it didn't turn out so well for him.
Okay. I know, Jay. You want Rodgers over there in Dallas.
Honestly, I think he would do well in Dallas. I think he would have.
Oh, he'd do well in Dallas. He'd do well in Dallas with the weapons that are there.
Yeah, exactly. He would have the weapons at his disposal. He would have a pretty good offensive line, a damn good defense. I mean, I think Aaron Rodgers could put the Cowboys over the top. I think if Aaron Rodgers was to sign with the Cowboys today, I would. I would come out and say, hey, I think Cowboys are Super Bowl favorites at this point. And I would say that confidently. I'm not saying that with Dak. And I've been reserving, I've been trying to go to down that Cowboy delusional route for a hot minute and not do that. I've learned a lot of things over the last 3 seasons, about that. So, but if Aaron Rodgers was to take over that job,
what's wrong with Dak, man?
Damn good and well what's wrong with Dak. You're getting better at the special effects, man. I tell you what, we give us about one more year together, man, and we're gonna have these special effects down on point. You guys are getting the best of podcasting right now with these special effects. Let me tell you, this is high stuff.
I was hearing somebody talking, and they were comparing Dak Prescott to Brock Purdy. And he said there ain't that much of a difference. So I was thinking, yeah, except their salaries. I mean, it's hard to argue that too, because I mean, Prescott he makes too many mistakes at big times.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing with it, right? Again, Dak he's not a bad quarterback. His decision making is just I don't know if it's a decision making or reading what's being given to you, but there's definitely a disconnect between him reading the defense and his decision making. If he could ever get that somehow or another figured out, he might be okay.
Your team needs a quarterback. My team's about to hire Jeff Saturday as their head coach.
Hey, all I know is, man, I wonder what people in the greater state of Indiana are feeling about that right now. I mean, have they voiced their concerns? Have they said anything? If I was Indianapolis, I would have a symposium that says, hell no, Jeff, we love you. But no.
I'll answer that, but real quick. To what Damien's saying here. Damien, if you think that the Jets would rather have Mike White at quarterback than Aaron Rodgers, I don't know what you've been watching. And I don't think Mike White's a franchise guy. I think he's a guy is going to be a good backup in the league. I don't think he's a starter in NFL. I know he's put together some good games. We saw Nick Foles put together some good games, but not be able to sustain it long term.
And that really is it, right? That's the longevity of it, or the
you tell me you pass if you have a chance to get Aaron Rodgers, you pass up on it because you believe in Mike White. I mean that's almost as bad as the Colts thinking about or probably going to hire Jeff Saturday. I mean,
right? No, exactly. I mean, I don't want to be the guy that says that Mike White can't be something in this league, but he's going to have to show it. He's going to have to show it, on a
he hasn't shown enough to say that he's a franchise quarterback type guy. Yeah,
I would definitely have him in a
I know he's young.
Competition.
I know he's young. I think I would have him, but if you can get Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, if you get Aaron Rodgers, that could be
no, I'm not going to get Aaron Rodgers. I think I'd rather stick with Mike White.
Right.
You're probably not going to be the GM very much longer there with the Jets, bud.
But I will say this: if they were able to get Aaron Rodgers, that probably could be a benefit for Mike White's career because it would give him a legitimate, quarterback to observe, learn from. I don't know how much of a teacher at this point Aaron Rodgers is wanting to be, but if I'm a fly on the wall, I'm gonna watch everything that Aaron Rodgers does. I'm watching his preparation. I'm watching how he sets himself up. I'm gonna be a very observant son of a bitch if I was underneath Aaron Rodgers, and I'm gonna learn from it. You ain't gotta tell me how to be you. All I gotta do is just open up my eyes and watch you, and I can figure it out for myself.
Yeah. Then back to the Colts real quick. From all the reports I'm hearing, man, Jim Irsay wants to hire Jeff Saturday. There's some people in the building that aren't on board.
I'm sure they're not.
Some of it like his advisors, and I don't know, I don't know about the GM, but some of his advisors stuff. So I know that he done his second interview. They're going to interview Dan Quinn for a second time, and like 5 or 6 other guys. But from all the stuff I'm hearing, it's looking more and more like Jeff Saturday is going to be the head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
And it's crazy to me. On several levels, it's bad, and I'm going to tell you why it's bad. Jeff Saturday is not qualified to be a head coach. Straight up. He's not qualified. And it's nothing against him. He just hasn't put the time in to be a head coach. He hasn't put the time in to be experienced to be a head coach. He's an unqualified candidate to be a head coach. I don't know how much simpler I can make that. If I was Irsay, if you really want to bring Jeff Saturday up through your ranks, have him be an offensive line coach. Start him as a positional coach and let him earn his stripes. Let him get the coaching experience to become a head coach, number one. Number two, if I'm an offensive coordinator in this league and I see a guy like Jeff Saturday getting the head coaching job, I'm calling bullshit. It's almost like a slap in the face to any offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, any coordinator that's out there. It's a slap in the face that Jeff Saturday is getting this looks. And if I'm African American or minority, you damn well better believe I'm going to be filing lawsuits. I'm just being honest with you. If I'm Florida,
how you going to fire a lawsuit?
Because I'm going to file a lawsuit over discrimination.
I'm going to
back it up.
But here's the thing, Jay. How can you prove it's discrimination when they've interviewed all these other people, and just because they chose to hire somebody that is discrimination?
Watch this. I got you on that. Because I'm going to have me a damn good freaking lawyer. Number one. Number two, I'm going to hold on. Let me make my case now. I'm going to have a good lawyer that's representing me. Number one, in court. Number two, they're going to have to explain to me the qualifications that Jeff Saturday has over me. And I'm sorry.
And here's what they're going to tell you. Here's what they're going to tell you. I'm the owner. I'm the owner of the team. I can hire who the hell I want.
You're the owner of a team and still have a lawsuit filed against you.
But if there ain't nothing to prove discrimination, there's nothing you can do. He's the owner of the team. He can hire whoever the fuck they want.
I get that. I get what you're saying, that he can hire whoever he wants. But
am I saying it's the right decision? Am I saying it's the right decision? That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I don't think just because if he hires him, just automatic lawsuit. Here's what I do think.
What I'm saying is, I'm using Flores.
There is one positive that could come out of this. If somehow he puts together a good coaching staff and he does well and succeeds, listen to me out.
I'm listening.
If he can put together a good coaching staff around him and somehow he succeeds, the good thing that could come out of this is it'll get more minorities and more players chances to coach in the NFL as head coaches, because you're not going to get these players that have already made millions of dollars to go be an offensive coordinator or start at the very bottom. So if some of these guys can do this and succeed, that'll be a way to get more players in as head coaches, which in turn could be more minorities as head coaches.
I understand, but again, I understand where you're going with that.
But I'm not saying it's the right move at all. I'm just saying
it's not the right move. It makes no sense to me. Look, just because you're a great player or was a good player doesn't mean that you're qualified to be a head coach candidate. You haven't gone through all the maturations of the different levels of experience that it takes to be a head coach. You just haven't done that. And if I'm a minority, I use Jeff Flores or I use Brian Flores as an example. But if I'm a minority candidate and I got offensive coordinator experience or I've got head coaching experience, and I go and apply for your job, you're going to have to tell a court in very detailed terms why you hired Jeff Saturday over me. I'm telling you, I'm taking it to court, and you're going to fight it out in court because you're going to have to explain to me why.
That's just like, get this. If Tom Brady retires, Fox is going to take Greg Olson off TV, who's been on there 3 years with them, and put Tom Brady in his position. You tell me he's going to go file a lawsuit against him and he's going to win it? No, he's going to go do whatever they tell him to fucking do. They're bringing somebody else.
Who are you talking about again? He said Olson. Are you talking about Greg Olson?
Yeah, being on the main.
Isn't Greg Olson white
this year?
Isn't Greg Olson white?
No, wait a minute. Listen, he's been playing, broadcasting on their main game that took over for Aikman and Buck all this year. If Brady retires, he goes to Fox. They're going to take him out of that position and give it to Brady. Is he going to go?
They actually gave it to him long before Olson. It's just Brady turned it down and went back to football.
But what I'm saying is,
but you couldn't find discrimination against that because you're talking about two people of the same minority or same race, not minority. How can that be discrimination when the same race? You can make a qualification.
How are you going to prove that they didn't hire any other person because it was race? How are you going to prove they hired Jeff Saturday because of race? I think that's a false statement to be saying if they hired Jeff Saturday, that proves that there was discrimination because of race. I think that's a false statement.
No, it is, because if you have a black candidate or Hispanic candidate or whatever that is a minority that has
discrimination, why is it discrimination against a white person? Why is it discrimination against a Caucasian or a white person?
Because you're talking about two different. You're talking about white versus white.
We're all the same people. What's the difference? If it's discrimination, it's fucking discrimination. It don't matter if they're black, white, fucking Mexican. Discrimination's fucking discrimination.
I don't know. So I mean, I understand. I see your point. I still think though that
can't because you're white. That makes no sense.
That makes sense.
No, you can file a lawsuit for discrimination, but you can't because you're white. That don't make no sense. Discrimination.
If I was white and I wasn't hired, it would be more of a qualifications than it would be a skin tone. It would be. It would be more of a qualification. Because watch this.
Oh shit.
Now, hold on. If you got two white coaches going for the same job, and they give it to the less qualified coach, then I would just take that. I would just take that as a lawsuit of you hire the least qualified guy, and you got to explain to me why. But I don't think that's necessarily going to hold water as much as it is in the court system, where it says
it shouldn't be different whether it's a white person, a black person, a Mexican. It's all discrimination. If it's discrimination, it's either discrimination.
Well, what are you discriminating? If you have two white guys going at it, what exactly would they be discriminating against?
But you're saying if it's a bad hire that you could just a lawsuit because
it is a bad hire. It's a bad hire, and you got to explain to me. I'm just saying
because I'm more. It's discrimination because I'm more qualified than he is, and he got the job over me. The same thing that you're saying with the minority.
Yeah. But as you know, in this league, there's a disparaging of minority candidates
I
in
don't
the
I don't care
NFL.
what color you are.
That's going to be the basis of my argument. That's going to be the basis of my and maybe it's or not arbitration. Maybe it's mediation with the NFL. But there's going to be some head rolls if you bring me in, and I'm a minority candidate, and I'm more qualified than the one that you put into office. You're going to have to explain to the NFL. You're going to explain to the court system why it is you made that decision. And I am going to sue for damages.
You ain't nobody going to be able to sue him for damages.
Bullshit. It happens all the time. Are you not watching the the United States of America? It happens all the time.
If we're going to do that, we might as well just let people pick who gets the hired at every position, because then you're taking everything. You're taking the power or being an owner out of being an owner if I can't hire who I want to hire. And that's what you're trying to say.
Hey, listen, the day that the NFL or any company became unionized, you gave up those rights, Bubba. I don't know if you know how unions work.
File discrimination.
I don't know if you know how unions work, but
you just can't file discrimination because you don't like who somebody hires. That's not how it works.
No, it is. When you're in a union, when your company is in a union, it's not the same as a non-unionized company.
Here's the difference. You can file a lawsuit, but that don't mean you're going to win a lawsuit.
I'm not saying you're going to win it, but I'm damn sure found it. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to the players. Watch this. I'm going to the. You think the Players Association would allow that to happen? If I'm a qualified candidate and I'm going for the Colts job, and they give it to Saturday over me, and we all know Saturday has zero coaching experience other than a little bit of that he got this year last year coming up, and you're going to tell me he's more qualified than me? Oh, I'm going to the Players Association. We're talking about this. You got to explain to me that, because when you're in a union, that's the whole point of having a union. That's the whole point of having a union.
I don't think the coaches are in the Players Association, Jay. Coaches aren't players.
I know, but I'm pretty sure that they're still part of a union, though. No, but I'm saying is they're still part of a union at some level.
But let's move on to something else here. Eagles. A lot of these sports books have the Eagles as the Super Bowl favorites. Do you agree with that? Do you think the Eagles are Super Bowl favorites? I really don't think they're Super Bowl favorites, but Vegas does.
First of all, hey, let me go back to this real quick. Just so let me just hit this up real quick. I'm gonna try to keep this professional because I don't want to use too many bad words. But Damien, Tony Dungy, yes, I understand he's black, but he was not going against another black candidate or a white candidate at the time, or a candidate at the time that was less qualified than him. Right? Nobody's less qualified than Jeff Saturday. Let's just be honest. Okay, that's a nice way I can say that. What a time to be alive, though, man. I tell you, the Colts. If I'm Tennessee right now, or even if I'm not Tennessee, if I'm Jacksonville right now, I'm loving this. I'm loving this, man, because all that does, all that Jeff Saturday hiring is going to do for the Colts is just set them further back. It's not helping that organization. It's not. Hell, if that's the case, any player can really be a coach because there's no qualification that Jeff Saturday has.
And so we'll see what happens, but I think that's who's going to get the job. I really do.
We've already. Well, oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I think the Colts probably do hire Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Time to be alive, man. Yeah, they're hiring ex-Colts players. That's what it seems like, and I don't understand. I don't understand how Jim Irsay. I don't know how he's running this franchise. I don't know how he's running this business. This makes no freaking sense to me. It makes no sense. If you want to bring Saturday in as an offensive line positional coach, okay, I support that because that's starting at the bottom and working your way up to the coaching realm. So if you want to do that, that's fine. Let him start as an offensive line coach. Then maybe go to then maybe go to a coordinator from there, and what have you. But and then a head coach after that. But God, that's bad business. That's why the Colts suck. They just make bad hires, man. No offense, Gonzo. I'm not saying the Cowboys right now are doing any better, but we are doing better because we got a better head coach.
You're still sitting where we were at.
No, I'm sitting better. I'm sitting better. I might not have, won the playoffs, but at least I was in the playoffs. Where are y'all at? Bottom feeders.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see how long.
Hey, listen. He said, no, but in all honesty, you have Gonzo. Look, you're a very intelligent human being. Even you got to understand that that's a bad hire. It's a bad hire.
I'm not saying that's a good hire. All I'm saying is if that's what happens, we got to make it work.
Hey, that's like me saying, you know what? Damn it. I drove a truck with the fifth wheel. I'm just going to go on ahead and go get me a full-on semi 18-wheeler, and I'm just going to ride this motherfucker. We're going to go down the California highway.
Hey, you know what? You better figure it the fuck out.
Hey, I will say they are making these 18-wheelers easier to drive. Hell, now you don't even have to learn how to drive a stick shift to drive a semi truck. They got them in automatics now. What pussies those are? God. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this out loud. If you're a truck driver and your semi truck has an automatic, you're not really a truck driver.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not saying that's the right decision. I'm just saying if they do that, they have to put a good coaching staff around them, and they got to prove that it can work. If you're going to take a chance to do that, you got to go all in and do whatever you can to try to make it work. Anthony, he's actually put together. That's why I'm telling you. This is why I think he's getting it for one, because I think he's already gave him some names of like people that he would want on his staff and the staff he's trying to build. So I haven't heard those names, so I really don't know who they're looking at, like who would be the OC. But I know he has been looking into putting a staff together. So, and I think that's one of the things that was going to be discussed more in the second interview. I think yesterday. So we'll see what happens there. Yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be it's a situation, Jay. It's a situation. But
hey, all I know is I'm glad that's your situation and not mine. Damn it!
I
got my own problems.
But do you think the Eagles are the Super Bowl favorites?
Oh man, they certainly make a good case for it. And that's the thing, though, Gonzo. That's the thing, right? Past Super Bowls, it's been a lot easier to say, okay, I can see this. I think this team has a good shot at this year. All these teams are so.
I can see all four teams. I can see all four teams win it.
I don't know how you can make a clear-cut case for any team being the quote-unquote favorite when all four teams are freaking brutally badass. And that's why I think this playoffs, this AFC showdown, the NFC showdown, and even the Super Bowl showdown is going to be probably one of the best playoff series that we've seen out of the NFL in decades, in my opinion. In decades.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 49ers and Eagles, but I mean, I can make a case for it to be any of the four teams. So I think it's going to be a great Sunday of football this Sunday. Looking forward to it. And then we got Royal Rumble Saturday night. Come join us 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Unscripted at Gonzo Sports Room at All Sports All Plays Network. Saturday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Watch party and live reaction to Royal Rumble 2023. So come join us Saturday night for that. Going to be a fun night.
Can I, if it's okay, what is it? Damien, I have a proposal for you, Damien. I have a proposal for you. I think me and you should meet up in a neutralized location. Maybe half. You're in Chicago. I'm in Georgia. Let's meet up. Let's say in.
These are the thoughts of Jay McLovin, not the thoughts of Gonzo Sports Room or the All Sports All Plays Network.
Hey, listen. Let's meet in Upper Tennessee at a neutral location, and let's do power slap.
Jay's been wanting to do power slap ever since he's watched it.
Hey, listen. All I'm saying is, I think
you guys meet up and
it'd
do
be
power
pretty
slap.
interesting.
I'll come and we'll live stream it.
Hell yeah! No, hell no. Hell no. We're going to have Tony live stream it. You're going to, hey, me and Damien are going to go in round 1, and you're going to get the winner of round 1.
I'm slapping somebody with my cane.
Hey, listen, I heard about you and that. You told me about that wrestling move where you got in the ring and y'all went toe for toe slapping. So, hey, that's why
I didn't slap nobody. I didn't slap nobody. They were slapping me. I took 3 chops.
Man,
I didn't slap nobody.
like I was telling you last night, I was watching that power slap, and this one, and I don't remember their names, but this dude slapped this dude so hard that he came out of his shoe. I'm serious. The shoe, they picked up the shoe and handed him back his shoe. That's how hard he got slapped. What a time to be alive. Jeez, what a time to be alive. He said on a cliff. Power slap on a cliff.
Extreme power slap, damn it.
Hey, listen. If you're power slapping on a cliff, you're a badass person. I'll be honest with you. And it's amazing. Like when them dudes get hit, jeez, man, I'm telling you. And I love it when they do it in slow motion because you see the dude's face go all kinds of different directions. You're just thinking like, damn, I know that hurt like hell.
Oh, son of a bitch. I don't know, man. I can see the Eagles as favorites, but I can make a case for the 49ers to be favorites. Only thing that worries me a little bit about the 49ers is a rookie quarterback. I can make a case for the Chiefs. I can make a case for the Bengals. Joe Burrow's playing good. Damien said he's good with it.
We will start putting the planning together.
We got to figure out neutral location.
Yeah, we got. Hey, that's how we got to do now is figure out the neutral location, and I think we're set, man. Damn, what a time to be alive, man. When me and Damien are gonna power slap each other, Jesus.
I'll tell you what, man. The reports about. Have you heard the new reports about Patrick Mahomes? Reports coming out, and he's looking pretty damn good. And that.
Which even leads me more to believe that that's not. They cannot possibly be a high ankle sprain. If he's come out this good, it's only been a few days. It makes no sense. Medically, it makes no sense.
And it was, I guess, back in like 2019, he had a high ankle sprain. He came back 7 days later and played. And he threw for over like 300 something yards. And Andy Reid said that this ankle sprain isn't as bad as that one.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
is it coaches talk to throw the other team off, or is
that's
going to be 85? Or is Patrick Mahomes going to be 85-90% Patrick Mahomes, and we're going to have a fucking ball game on Sunday?
But but at the end of the day, though, what does psychological really do for you? Because if he comes out there and he's not, anywhere near 70 or 80%,
not psychological. I'm saying it's more of not. If he's not going to play or if he's really, really hurt, that throwing the other team off for them not to know who to prepare for.
I'll tell you right now, I'm preparing for Patrick Mahomes no matter what, because I feel like if I prepare for Patrick Mahomes, whoever they throw behind Patrick Mahomes is going to
OJ, if Mahomes isn't playing, you want them to be preparing for Mahomes. That way they're not prepared for Henny. So you want them to believe that Mahomes is playing, even if he's not going to play. Because you want them preparing for Mahomes. That way, if Henny does play.
Let me ask you this. Do you really think a 37-year-old Chad Henne is going to have any kind of effect over the Bengals? Be honest with yourself.
He'll have a better fucking chance of if they haven't planned for him than what they are if they played for him all week. I'm not saying he's the answer, but what I'm saying is if you know you're going into the game and Chad Henne is your option, you want to take any advantage you can try to fucking get.
No, I understand where you're coming from. I just feel like I think the Bengals are good enough that even if they didn't plan Chad Henne,
I'm not saying he would beat him, but I think that would give him they would go in, at least the Chiefs and him would go in there feeling better about the situation than you see what I'm trying to fucking say.
Well, no, and I get that. I just feel like the success of the Chiefs offense goes through Kelsey and it goes through Mahomes. And if you take one of those guys out of that equation, I don't care.
We'll see.
That team's done. It's done. If you take Kelsey out of that equation, that team's done. You take Mahomes out of that equation, that team's
I understand
done.
that, but they're saying Mahomes is ready to play, walking around with no limp.
No, and I get that. That's what I'm saying. It might have been a high ankle sprain, but that must have been a super mild sprain.
I mean, all the reports you're hearing now is like good. It's like this motherfucker's an alien. I told you yesterday he's a damn alien.
Well, he came out of Texas, right? He's a Texas product. I just want to put that out there too.
And Damien, I agree with you. I think the Bengals are going to win the game. Even with Mahomes, I think Bengals are going to win this game. The only thing that does scare me a little bit is the Bengals have beat them 3 times in a row.
And that's the thing, right? I mean,
4 times in a row. But the Bengals, man, if they can control that line of scrimmage like they did last week, they look scary.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like we were talking about MVP candidates earlier. And we were talking about Mahomes, we were talking about Burrow and so forth. And I was, you know how the old saying goes, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Well, Burrow's beat the best 3 times. How many more times does he have to beat Patrick Mahomes to earn the rightful title of MVP?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think Mahomes will MVP this season for regular season, but I do think Mahomes.
Well, I think Mahomes gets it for the regular season too.
Burrow, like I said yesterday, he's getting himself right up there where he's saying, "I'm the guy. I'm the best quarterback in this damn league." He's trying to he's getting himself where you can make a strong case for that he is.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was a betting man, like if I was putting money down on who's going to be MVP, I'm going to put my money on Mahomes. That's just he's the favorite. But if I had money on who should really be it really should be Burrow. You know what I'm saying? Because if you beat the quote unquote MVP 3 times, and if he beats him a 4th time, I mean, I don't know how you can say this guy is the MVP when he got his ass whooped 3 times by the quote unquote not MVP. I can't make sense of that. I don't care if you go up to you and you throw up 1,000,000 yards. If I'm whooping your ass, I'm whooping your ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. Like I said,
but I do think, like what you said, I do think that eventually Burrow's time is going to come.
If he wins this game, I think it's there, especially if he goes on to win the Super Bowl, because after what he done last year in the playoffs,
right?
If he can get his team back to the Super Bowl, and especially if he can get the job done.
I mean, truthfully,
because it wasn't like he played bad last year in the Super Bowl. They didn't lose.
Oh, absolutely.
They didn't lose the Rams because Joe Burrow played bad.
And I don't truly think that Burrow gives a damn about that MVP. I don't think Mahomes really gives a fuck about the MVP. It looks really good on your Hall of Fame resume. But at the end of the day, I think Patrick Mahomes would much rather have a Super Bowl ring on his hand, than an MVP. Hell, and let me ask you this. I would much rather have – I put more weight on the Super Bowl MVP, even the conference finals MVPs than I do the regular season MVP.
Yeah.
I understand the MVP is a stat. I don't know. I mean, technically, is it a stat award? Sure. I understand what you're saying, but it doesn't mean you're the most valuable player. The most valuable player is the one that gets the wins. And if I beat you, I feel like.
Yeah, but the way they do the MVP award is a stat award and a popularity contest.
Oh, I get it. And I understand what Anthony Price is saying, and I understand what you're saying. I think if I was in Joe Burrow's shoes, just like Tom Brady, how many MVPs does Tom Brady have? Even though he's the GOAT, and we all know Tom Brady's the GOAT, but how many MVPs does he have? Do you think Tom Brady gives a damn that maybe somebody else has more, NFL MVPs than he does? No, because you know why? He got 7 damn rings, and he earned each and every one of them rings by himself, damn near. That's how much weight you put on the NFL MVP.
not by himself, but he had one.
Well, watch this. Hey, let me ask you a question. So
The first couple.
hold on. Let me ask you a
Here's what I
question.
mean, Jay. Let me explain
In New England,
what I mean. Let me explain what I mean.
Come on, now you gotta let me say what I gotta
First
say.
couple years,
I'm a peacock. I gotta fly.
the first couple Super Bowl runs, that the defense carried that team, not Tom Brady. But there was a time when Tom Brady started carrying that team to Super Bowls as well, but not all the Super Bowls.
See, that don't make no sense. So if the Patriots lose, you're not blaming the defense. You're blaming Tom Brady.
You're telling me that rookie year that he was the one that won that Super Bowl. The defense won that Super Bowl.
I'm telling you, what's the hardest position to fill on an NFL roster?
So Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl for the Baltimore Ravens.
Now we're not. No. Let's not go there because Trent Dilfer is not on the same level as Tom Brady.
Back when Tom Brady was in his first or second year, it wasn't like he was a whole hell of a lot better at that time. He was learning how to play the NFL game.
No, I get that.
They depended on the run game and their defense. They didn't depend on Tom Brady to go beat people.
All right, so you're telling me that Tom Brady is not responsible for the 6 rings in New England and the 1 ring in Tampa? You're going to tell me he's not responsible?
Well, I'm not saying he's not responsible.
I want to know, is he not responsible?
He didn't win all them games by himself.
But is he not responsible?
He has responsibility in it, yes, but he's not.
No, he is responsible. You know he's responsible. Of course, you don't do it by yourself. You can't play all 22 positions, by yourself. I'm not saying that. Let me rephrase. I'm not saying that he didn't need a defense or he didn't need a running back or wide receiver. I'm just saying that he is solely responsible for those rings.
All I'm saying is there were Super Bowls that they won because of him, and then at the beginning they carried him a little bit. But then he became Tom Brady, and he did carry them to Super Bowls. I was just saying he didn't do it. He didn't carry him every Super Bowl was what I was trying to say.
Well, the man's got 7. How many do you think he's responsible for?
He has a responsibility in all 7. I'm just saying.
Oh, okay.
You can't say he was the sole reason why they won all 7.
Let's put it this way: who's the deciding factor in the Super Bowls? No. In the 7 Super Bowls, who's the deciding factor? And if you say any other than Tom Brady, and we got problems.
He wasn't the deciding factor in all 7. He wasn't the deciding factor in all 7.
I'm sorry, I had to pull a Gonzo.
Look, now Anthony, that's a perfect example. He did carry him. He was the reason of that game. But he wasn't the reason in the first couple Super Bowls.
Okay. Well, then how by your logic, Brady's not the GOAT then if he's not responsible?
Oh, Jay.
Look, you cannot say Brady in New England and you cannot say Brady in Tampa and not know that he's not responsible for those damn rings. Anybody will tell you that. Do I got to go get Frankie Cruz Jr. up in here? Because Frankie will have a field day.
He's responsible, but he did not carry them all 7 Super Bowls. In the first few Super Bowls, it was more about the defense and the run game. Then it became more about Tom Brady and the offense. There was different time periods in that. Is he the GOAT? Yes, he's the damn GOAT. And I can't stand Tom Brady. I'm a Colts fan. I hated Tom Brady. Always put us and Peyton Manning out. But the dude is the GOAT. I'm just saying there was different time periods.
Because first he's the GOAT. The second thing, you're comparing him to Trent Dilfer. Could you please be consistent?
Oh, my God.
I'd rather just piss you off right now.
Listen. I hate Tom Brady too. That's one thing me and you will agree on. Is I hate Tom Brady too. And I don't hate Tom Brady as a person, but I hate Tom Brady as a quarterback. I do, man, because that man has single-handedly ruined a lot of teams, man, from trying to get there. Hell, he's on the Cowboys for years. We finally got past him one time, and it took him being 45 years old for us to finally beat his ass. It is what it is.
So who you going with for Super Bowl? I'm going 49ers and Bengals.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I think I said it earlier this morning. I said it before then. I was right there with you. I think the 49ers and Bengals. I think it's going to come down to Purdy versus Joe Burrow. Now, and here's the thing with that too. Let me ask you this. Just because he's a rookie, he's got such a good team around him that, whatever little flaws he may have in that rookiness, he's already shown in big games that doesn't faze him. He can rise to the challenge and he can overcome. He's already proven that. Hell, he just went against one of the best defenses in all of football in the Dallas Cowboys, and they beat them. So, I mean, I'm not saying – you know what I'm saying? For me, the 49ers going against the Eagles isn't going to be so much on Purdy as it's going to be, can that 49ers defense contain that Philadelphia Eagles offense? You know what I'm saying? Because McCaffrey, Debo, Mitchell and Ayuk and Kittle. Look, them dudes, they're all seasoned veterans. All Purdy has to do is get the ball to him. That's all he got to do. He ain't got to be crazy. He ain't got to be no super magnet quarterback. All he got to do is play within the system, get the ball like he did against Dallas, and he's going to be just fine. And there's no reason why Purdy can't win a Super Bowl. And I know people are going to say, well, he's a rookie, this, that, and the other, and they're going to use that rookie status to hurt him. But at the same time, the man is not playing like a rookie right now.
Oh, no, he's not playing like a rookie right now. No, but also you never know how a rookie's going to act in a Super Bowl. That's the only thing that scares me a little bit.
Yeah. Again, I get that, but Purdy, there is a little,
and I see that he's shown up in big games so far, but Super Bowl's different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and of course, because it is the biggest stage out there. But again, all he has to do is there is enough veteran leadership on that team, that can keep him focused. I really believe that. And I think anybody that talks about Purdy, everything I've ever heard about Purdy, they always say he keeps his composure. He's not rattled, which is weird for a rookie, but he's not rattled, know. And neither really is Joe Burrow. If you look at Joe Burrow last year, I look at Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow don't get rattled.
No, it don't. But you know what? But I don't look at Joe Burrow's first season as his rookie season because he didn't play but one or two games, and then he got hurt, and then then he was out the whole season. I look at last year, the Super Bowl run that they did, as Joe Burrow's true rookie season, and the damn guy almost won, the son of a bitch. And I look at Purdy as having that Burrow mentality in terms of not being rattled and not letting things phase you, and staying poised and staying composed and being the leader. And that's why I feel like, yes, he is a rookie, but he's not playing like a rookie. Man, he will be the highest paid quarterback in history. There's no doubt about it. Which is interesting. If Burrows when is he up for contract?
I think 2. I think he's under contract for the season, for next season and the season after, if I believe so.
So he won't sell. Okay, so Lamar Jackson would have already signed his contract before.
Or if he's under contract for next season, and then they could pick up his option for the next. God. So basically, yeah, they could. So Lamar will probably, maybe him and Lamar might be getting their contracts at the same time.
Jeez, man. I will tell you right now, the biggest thing with Lamar isn't the amount of money that they're offering him. It's the amount of the guarantee. Yeah. So my thing is this. If there are 2 quarterbacks in this league that I think are fully deserving of a fully guaranteed contract. And I think the way Burrow's playing, Burrow is one of them. And I think Mahomes is the other. Those guys are playing at a level where they deserve a fully guaranteed.
Mahomes didn't get fully guaranteed. Deshaun Watson did.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how Deshaun Watson gets a fully guarantee and Mahomes didn't. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, and I think the Bengals will. I think they'll get Burrow taken care of before it gets to him even having to pick up the 5th-year option. I'd look for them to do it next season.
I wouldn't be surprised after the Super Bowl run that they don't start those negotiations.
Yeah, I figure they'll try to go ahead and get it taken care of.
And I honestly would not be surprised if the Bengals come away with a Super Bowl win. That if they don't, I wouldn't be surprised if Burrow opts out of that contract and wants to renegotiate it.
Well, he can't opt out of this contract unless they went the whole next year because it's his rookie deal.
Did you see this?
I know that was a rumor that that's who was going to get it, but I haven't seen it. I haven't seen that it came up yet or any reports about it yet.
I don't know how you feel about it, Gonzo. I know Frank Reich was your coach for a hot minute. I know he also was offensive coordinator over there at Philly. I got mixed emotions with that as being a good hire for the Carolina Panthers. I know they want a guy that has experience. They've already come out and said that our next head football coach is going to have, good NFL experience. But I don't know. I'm not really sold on Frank Reich. How do you feel about that?
I think he's good for a young quarterback. I don't like that he wants to be the head coach and call plays because I think sometimes that gets him in a mode where he's thinking more of it like a coordinator than a head coach.
Yeah.
But he is good with young quarterbacks. I mean, we had some successful years with him there in Indy. Last year just wasn't one of them. But no, I'm not going to say it's a real bad hire. But it's going to be interesting to see who he brings in on the staff, and then what way they decide to go in the quarterback direction. What direction they decide to go with the quarterback? Because you got Sam Darnold there,
right?
So who are they going to go and try to bring in? Is going to be the question for me for that team to be able to try to compete.
Did you see Anthony Price brings up some good comments too? The last two of his are pretty good ones. I'm really surprised, man. Like, why would I think Brian Flores would have done great things out there in Carolina. I think Brian Flores would do great things anywhere he goes. What he did with Miami was just amazing. And I don't know. I think that guy is just, we've seen a lot of Frank Reich and we've seen a lot of what Frank Reich can do. I haven't seen enough of Brian Flores at the head coaching spot other than that brief tenure there with Miami. But I would really like to see Brian Flores. I think he could have done good things out there with the Panthers.
Yeah, I know his name was in there. I'd heard this morning about that Frank Reich's name was hot.
Yeah.
He was going to get it. Like I said, I haven't really looked at anything. So I haven't seen the reporter on how much he got and how many years or anything like that. But according to Damien, Frank Reich is the head coach of the Carolina Panthers.
Hey, did you also see this though? And I've heard this as well. I don't know how much is in it, but Lamar to the Falcons via trade. What would the Falcons actually trade to Baltimore that would equal Lamar Jackson's value?
Draft capital. They'd have to have some draft.
That's
capital.
what I'm saying. But where are they? They're not drafting anywhere as near high enough right now. I mean, they're drafting what middle of the road, I think, in the draft.
But they might have some picks from some other trades they made or something that they could use.
Oh, that's true.
I'm not sure what kind of draft capital they have, but they might be able to offer up 2 or 3 number ones and a number two.
What do you think it's going to take? I think 3 number ones.
At the least.
I think, as I'm saying, I think at the least it's going to be 3 number ones, and that's going to be a lot of the Falcons' future right there. 3 number ones. So, and they have a lot of issues on their side of the ball too, both wide receiver and running back. I mean, I know Cordell Patterson's okay, but I still think they got some needs on that offense that they're going to have to address some kind of way. Now, maybe like you said, maybe they do it through free agency, but how many free agents do you think are really out there? Because everybody's going to be out there looking for free agents this year, I think.
Damon said Adam Schefter and
if Adam Schefter puts it out, then that's pretty.
I know. I figured it was right. I was just giving Damien a hard time, but
I got to. When I take him to the Slap-a-Hoe tribe, it's gonna be all good.
Oh shit. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been on Twitter here lately. I done the show earlier, then been working on other stuff, and then started this show. So.
Oh, hey, by the way, if we do that, that means we're going to have to referee, Gonzo. It's got to be a sanctioned event, so you're going to have to be the referee.
All right.
God, what a time to
I get to make the rules. Since I'm
I think it's
referee, do I
just
get to make
simple
the
rules.
rules?
You can't lift according to the power slap. You can't take your feet off the ground, and you can't twist through it after the fact. That was the two biggest things I saw. The fouls. Anyway, those were the two biggest fouls that I saw them committing. Was the fact that they were lifting their feet up off the ground and that they were twisting to go through. I don't think you're allowed to follow through with your waist. Yeah, I think a lot of us were surprised on that. Yeah, I think a lot of us were surprised. I'm still surprised on that. But hey, listen, I'll be honest with you. After Jeff Saturday getting the job as a head coach, nothing surprises me anymore. So,
I think as offensive coordinator, I don't think it's a bad idea, but I think that they brought him in mainly to try to get Aaron Rodgers.
God. So Aaron Rodgers is looking at, if he does come back, he's looking at renegotiating his contract, which I think is he should have done that last year, was renegotiate.
Maybe.
Mike Barnes. I haven't heard anything about that. Have you heard anything about that? The only spinning controversy I heard about was Clevenger with the kid. I didn't hear anything about Mike Barnes. Was that from Karate Kid?
Son of a bitch. Karate Kid.
Remember Mike Barnes and Ralph Macchio? It was a Karate Kid 3, I think, is when Mike Barnes came into thing. And if you watch Cobra Kai, he makes several reappearances. Oh yeah, it's already on ESPN. Panthers hire ex-coach Frank Reich as new head coach. So it is 100% official that Frank Reich is their coach. What a time to be alive. Matt Barnes. I was like, the only Mike Barnes I know is in Karate Kid. Matt Barnes. I don't know. I didn't even hear about this.
No, I haven't seen it either.
I wonder when this happened. Yeah, Matt Barnes spits on fiance's ex at 49ers playoff game. He spit on his fiance's ex boyfriend or whatever. Oh my gosh. And he did it at the 49ers playoffs. Oh, so Matt Barnes spits on fiance's ex at 49ers playoff game after alleged threats, and apparently he got pushed. Fiance's ex-husband. Woo-wee! Oh, Matt getting up into it, boy. Man. Matt Barnes gets restraining order against
things getting heated
after spitting incident. Well, I
don't know. That's pretty disrespectful.
Oh yeah,
but disrespectful as you fucking get, really.
Wow. I'd rather you slap me in the face than spit at me. I could probably deal with it being slapped more than I could being spit. Oh, that's just gross. Wow. Well, I guess, if the ex-husband wants to get involved, why would the ex-husband even be? He must be still trying to win back his ex-wife. Wow.
You never know these days, Jay.
Man, ain't that the damn truth? You really just don't know, man. It's insane to me. So Matt Barnes spit on his fiance's ex during a heated altercation at the Cowboys versus Niners game on Sunday. Video obtained by TMZ Sports shows, but the former NBA champ claims the man started it all, threatening him and shoving him. Yeah. I guess if you put hands on somebody and if you get spit on, well, you get spit on. Maybe you should put hands on somebody, I guess. I guarantee you, though, if you spit on me, well, you better be prepared for what comes next. I'm just saying, it ain't going to just stop with that. I promise you. So in the footage, you can see that Matt Barnes sprayed the man with spit before he later got in the guy's face. The clip shows the two exchanged words and got in a bit of a wrestling match before, thankfully, they separated and walked off in different directions. I'm sorry. If you spray me with spit, there ain't nobody walking off in separate directions. Wow. Man, hey, Anthony Price, I'm right there with you, man. Hey, listen, I'm not saving my ex either. You can have her. Listen, there's a reason why they call it an ex. You let that shit go and keep on rolling. Well. I wonder what's going to come out of that, or if that's just going to get dropped.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. You never know with people these days.
Man, ain't that the damn truth? So, D'Amico Ryans, where do you see? Do you think he's going to wind up in Houston? I know he interviewed with them, and he's got ties to Houston in his playing days.
I know after he interviewed with Houston, he canceled his interview with the Colts and somebody else.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a pretty good indicator then, if that's the case. I got to be honest with you, and I'm from Houston. If I'm D'Amico Ryans, though,
the reports I heard, that's the direction they're going, but I haven't heard anything in like set in stone or anything yet.
Damien said, Jay, if you spit on me, trust me, you'll get more than a slap on that clip. Just saying, laugh out loud. Listen, Damien. No, you're not baiting me into this. I'm not gonna get goaded into that because I might get in trouble. We're just gonna let that one light off in the sunset. Why would D'Amico Ryans leave the 49ers and go to Denver? That's stupid.
Anyway, he's talking about leaving the 49ers to go to the Houston. I think I'd go Denver before I'd go to Houston.
That's what I'm saying. Hell, I would go to. Honestly, I would go to the Colts before I went to Houston because I feel like the Colts have a little bit. I don't know. Let me take that back for a minute.
I know.
No, and I say that because as I'm saying that, my brain is telling me, "Yo, Jay," because I get it. If you go, what makes the Colts attractive? The fact that you got Jonathan Taylor there. That's what makes it attractive. Yeah, you have a decent defense. And you have Jonathan Taylor. Those are the two things that makes it attractive. The offensive line doesn't. The wide receivers don't. But if I look at Houston, Damian Pierce, the rookie running back for Houston, he played. Hey, look, he had a hell of a good running campaign this year. Anybody knows if you had him on your fantasy league, he got you quite a few points. So I think Houston does have a run game. They still got Brandon Cooks. There's still something even in Houston under that craziness that you can bring. You can still do something with, and you got the number two pick in the draft, so you can bring in your own. So I could bring in my own quarterback. I got a good running back. I got a good wide out. I know D'Amico Ryans can give them that stability and that sound decision making, probably to legitimize the Houston Texans and bring them back out of purgatory. You're muted.
I still think I'd go to Denver before I'd go to Houston, though.
Yeah, Denver has a good defense as well, and they have Jerry Jeudy. And, they got a couple of decent wideouts over there, and I don't think they have a true running game, though. I'm not really a big fan of their run game. That's the only thing about Denver.
No, their running back got hurt, though. If Williams went and got hurt at the beginning of the year, I think they.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Honestly,
you have a quarterback. You have Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's true. You would have a good running. You would have a good. Well, again, and so if you're D'Amico Ryans, you're a defensive guy. he can't really do anything to help, the maturation process or whatever for Russell Wilson, like let's say Peterson could do for Lawrence, right?
Well, that's where you got to hire a good offensive coordinator.
Well, that's true as well. That's a good point. I think that's probably the first two things I'm looking at if I'm DeMeco Ryans and if I was to take over or whoever it is taking over the Denver job. I'm looking at bringing an offensive coordinator and a quarterbacks coach. I think you got to look at those two guys because they both do work hand in hand together, right? So I'm probably bringing in a new quarterbacks coach and a new offensive coordinator, and let's go from there.
Yeah, I think Sean Payton did have a second interview with Denver, but from reports keep coming more and more out that Sean Payton's going to go back to TV and not take a coaching job. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
But I wonder if he's doing that because he's waiting for better opportunities to roll along.
Yeah.
Well, because I can't imagine that Denver hasn't offered him a contract or hasn't offered him a job.
You would think they would have by now if you've ever, but I mean, it is Denver. They hired Nathaniel Hackett as their head coach.
Right. I mean, and again, Denver hasn't made a lot of good choices on how. Where's John Elway these days? Is he still the GM or president or whatever it is over there with Denver, or has he stepped aside? Or
he's all these the GM, but he's some kind of title, president of football operations or something. He's still involved somehow.
Because Elway was responsible though back in the day with
he was the GM for a while.
Yeah, I mean he's the one. I know he was influential with getting Sean or Peyton Manning and getting that Super Bowl as well. Correct? Like I know he had played a part in that.
He was GM then, yeah.
They need to let him get back to doing his job or whatever. I mean, because
his biggest problem. Elway's biggest problem as GM in Denver was he could never, other than when he got Peyton there, he couldn't ever get the quarterback position right with a younger guy to try to, to try to get a future going.
Yeah. Anthony makes a good point, and I was thinking about this the other day too. I really feel like the Panthers, they did screw over Steve Wilkes because you got to remember.
Hey, he can go file a discrimination lawsuit like you were trying to say earlier.
I'm telling him right now. Well, he really couldn't because again, Frank Reich does have experience. It's not like they're bringing in RG3 and saying, "Hey, RG3, go apply."
All kidding aside, I thought with the way that Panthers team played down the stretch, I thought he would get a chance at least for maybe a year or two.
Yeah, I mean, how do you go for Matt Rule? I mean, he took a team that was in total shambles, total chaos, to damn near getting into the playoffs, and we all were writing the Panthers off for dead.
Hell, they used like 3 or 4 different quarterbacks. Traded away one of your best weapon in McCaffrey.
Yeah.
I mean,
I thought Foreman did do a pretty good job.
Yeah, no, but yeah.
He's not McCaffrey. He's not McCaffrey. The only problem with McCaffrey was he just couldn't stay. Man, McCaffrey could you imagine how much further along in his career McCaffrey would be if he stayed healthy all those years and been on the field producing? Could you imagine where would McCaffrey be right now in terms of greatest running backs?
Oh shit! Who knows? The way
he just missed so much time.
When he was healthy, and the numbers he puts up when he's healthy is.
Oh, Lovey! I don't see Lovey. If Lovey coaches, it'll be either as a coordinator or as a positions coach somewhere. I don't think Lovey is going to get too many more opportunities, to be honest with you. And I might be wrong on that, but I don't see him getting too many more opportunities. Donzo, do you see him getting opportunities anywhere?
I don't think he'll get probably any head coach opportunities this year, but I can see him ending up on a staff somewhere, maybe.
If I was him, I'd go over the Colts and run just for the hell of it.
Hey, bring him in.
Huh? Hey, if I'm Lovie Smith, I'm demanding an interview, and I'm bringing my lawyer in with me. So Anthony Price said that he would take Lovie Smith as his defensive coordinator out there in Washington. You know, hey, Anthony Price, hey, you guys should be doing pretty good on defense next year because you're already getting Chase Young back, or you should have Chase Young back at the beginning of the season. Well, you will have him back because he's had more than enough time really to recuperate now at this point. But I wonder how effective or how he's going to play coming back from injury, having been out for well over a year now from the sport. Gonzo, what do you think about Chase Young as he comes back?
Oh man, it can really help that defense, help that pass rush because they lost Young, but the year before they had Ryan Kerrigan retire as well.
Right.
So then with Young getting hurt, I mean, that really affected that pass rush even more. So getting him back, I think is going to really help that defense out. I think they just need to figure out the quarterback situation there, and I think that team's going in the right direction. I really do.
Yeah, they still have to really solidify what they're going to do with that quarterback position. I don't know where they're drafting right now, but Howell's not going to get the job done. Clearly, Wentz is not going to get the job done. Heineke's had multiple opportunities to try to get the job done and not done it. I think that's the one thing that Washington is just struggling with it now is that quarterback position. However, in a comment, there is David Carr out there still, or not Derek Carr. Excuse me, I know I said David. Derek Carr is still out there. So I think Derek Carr. How well would he play over there in Washington? Especially with McLaurin and Gibson and company. Yeah.
Anthony Price says Howell's their number one. For next year.
It's going to be a long day in Washington. It's going to be a long day in Washington. You better go start watching some more Wizards.
The Wizards. Damn.
Hey, look, the last time there was a heyday in Washington is when the Nationals beat the Astros in the World Series. I know it's been a hot minute for D.C. I never asked that. Hey, Anthony Price, put in your comments. I know you're a Washington fan. Are you living out in D.C. or are you in Maryland or Virginia? How's our number one for next year? Yeah, I tell you what, if How's your number one for next year, man, Jesus. I don't really expect much out of Washington, honestly, next year. I think it's still going to come down to the three basic in the East. It's going to be Dallas, obviously, and Philly and Giants. I just wonder how much better will the Giants be next year, year two under Dable.
I think they'll be better because I think they're going to do something to that receiving core. And I think Daniel Jones is going to keep improving under Dable.
Okay. Oh, Anthony Price is out there in Maryland. Okay, I got you. Wait. We just watched Dallas tapes, how to be great in the regular season and boom, dead in the playoffs. You never even saw the playoffs, so I don't know. You need to watch some more Dallas tapes if that's the case. You might want to go watch some more tapes because we have made the playoffs. By the way, hey, I'm familiar with where you're at. I used to live in, like I was telling Gonzo a long time ago, I lived out there in southeast Washington, D.C. I lived right across from Navy Yard for several years. But yeah, good times, man. Good times. Yeah, I think this offseason, Gonzo, between the draft, and coaching hires, there's going to be a lot to look forward to between now and next season.
And free agency. I mean, what's going to end up with? Is Aaron Rodgers going to end up in Green Bay? Is he going to be somewhere else? Tom Brady, is he going to retire? Or is he going to play somewhere else? I mean, this offseason is going to be pretty interesting.
Oh, he said I wasn't born when y'all made the play, when you made a deep playoff. Yeah, damn, you're that young, Anthony. Jesus, man, what are you, like a fetus? Or I'm really or I'm just dirt, because I'm old. I mean, Damn. If you weren't alive, so that means you're probably like, so that means Anthony Price is probably around 22 years old, 22, 23. You must have been born right there before 2000 or right at 2000. Interesting. Okay.
Damn. Yeah,
God, I wish I could go back to being 21 again. 21 was a fun time. 21, 22. Hell, the whole 20s was a good time. 30s was a blur. 20s was great.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. He's young.
Oh, he's 34.
Still.
Well, that's still pretty young. Yeah, 34 is still pretty young.
I'm not.
Hell, everything's young when you turn 50.
Oh no, I haven't turned 50 yet, Jay, so I couldn't tell you that yet.
Hey, listen, don't rush it. It's gonna happen to you one way or the other, but don't rush it and enjoy your youth while you have it. I promise. It only comes once.
Hey, that's true.
It only comes once, man. I'm telling you. Damn, what a time to be alive.
Let's get the final thoughts.
Yeah. Honestly, like you said, man. Today's Thursday, so we got another couple of days before we hit, before we get into the playoffs. So, it's a lot of anticipation. Again, Royal Rumble on Saturday. Oh, what a time to be alive. Anthony Price, I fully expect to see you when we do the watch-alongs Saturday at 7:30. I expect you to tune in, hang out with us for a little bit, have some pizza, drink some beer, whatever it is you do out there in Maryland. But, yeah, man, it's going to be a good time. 7:30 p.m. God, what a time.
Right there's all the information. 7:30 p.m. at Gonzo's Sports Room at the All Sports All Plays Network and at Unscripted. Come join us Saturday night, our Royal Rumble coverage.
Yeah, the only thing I have to say is make sure you guys tune in tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern, as we will be doing another episode of Unscripted. Gonzo will be hanging out with us. We'll get more. He'll bust my balls a little bit more about how, you can't take a lawyer and sue the Colts. I mean, be all kinds of good stuff we'll be talking about, I promise. Amongst other things. Hey, we're going to play a head coach to team matching game. We're going to play quarterback to future team matching game. There's going to be a lot of stuff we're going to do tonight on Unscripted. So it should be a lot of fun. Unscripted, you can find us on Facebook, ASAP. You can also find us on Twitter at unscriptedguys.com. Unscripted Guys, all one word on Twitter, and Unscripted Sports on TikTok, all one word, for any up-to-date news.
Yeah, we appreciate everybody watching today. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo Sports Room and at the All Sports All Plays Network. Also hit it for the guys over at Unscripted as well. Like, follow on Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, all at Gonzo Sports Room as well, and at the All Sports All Plays Network. We'll be live here in about a half hour with the Easy Money, a sports betting show. Come join us for that. And like Jay said, we have Unscripted night at 7 o'clock. But we'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, for last episode of the ASAP Afternoon Blitz for the week. Be Friday. We'll talk about the NFL Championship weekend. Also, maybe talk a little bit of Royal Rumble. I'm sure there'll be a lot of news keep coming out. Maybe another head coaching job. Maybe Jeff Saturday will be officially the head coach of the Colts. We can dive right into that. So I'm sure it'll be interesting tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great night.